Hello and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play LOTRO with me, Balthelion. So today we are inside the Rockbelly Pit, which is just south of Thorin's Hall. It's the first building along the eastern path there. We've got a number of quests that we've still got to do from Thorin's Court, so we can still kill a couple more cave claws. We need to collect some gypsum, sand and stones. There's some sand to my left there. We need to find some gears, find a lost pickaxe and defeat cave claws inside the cave. Let's get underway. But yeah, we'll start at the top and work our way down. We could just jump off, but yeah, we'll try not to unless we fall off by accident. So yeah, I apologise for the lack of videos recently. It's just been a bit hectic in real life. But I have now played the new region, the Vales of Anduin. If you haven't played that, I suggest you go take a look. It is pretty cool. It's a nice bit of landscape. But it's not too grindy actually compared to some other regions recently. I mean, personally, as far as the reputation grind goes, I've found it's pretty easy really. I mean, I didn't bash out all the quests in one day. I did it over a few days. And between the landscape quests and tasks, I pretty much capped it with no rep accelerators at all. I did use like about 6 to 8 of them at the start of the region, just because I had a couple lying around. But I was easily capped before I'd finished the region. And that's just basically doing task hand-ins with any task items I got while doing the region. So you shouldn't really need to pop any rep accelerators. Come back here, Cave Claw. So yeah, it's not too bad. The endgame grind isn't too bad as well. It's a couple of daily instances, but it's not a horrific grind like some of the regions have been, which is something that really sort of turns me off at the minute. Because personally, I'd much rather be playing like the lower levels and just sort of enjoying the journey, no matter how many times I've done said journey, rather than doing a grind over and over and just for it to be relevant for like a month or so, and then something else comes out which is slightly better and it's just rinse repeat and kind of ends up becoming a bit like a job. So it is a bit of a pain in the backside, so I don't really participate too heavily in the grinds. We've found the gear, we've found the pickaxe, we've killed the cave claws. Gypsum and stones are not in the cave from what I remember, so I think we're done here. And this should just take us straight back outside, even though it's a different door. Yeah, we're upstairs. Whereas where we came in before was... oh, it wasn't down there. Where are we now? No, it wasn't there. Or was it the same door? I don't know. But yeah, so... It's quite a nice region. It's not a huge region. They generally aren't too huge if they're not the expansion regions. It's a decent sized zone. It will keep you busy for a while. Some of the quest flows are a bit of a pain in the backside, like the Black Book of Mordor, which is your equivalent of the epic story. Do I need to go up here? No, I don't. I need to go west. Yeah, there's nothing up here. Okay. The Black Book of Mordor kind of takes you to different places to where the landscape quests want to flow, so what you might find is that it's better to do the Black Book as quickly as possible, because the Black Book will take you to the far-flung points of the region, but then they'll bring you back to the earlier parts of the region, which is a bit irritating. So I figured that out at the end when I was trying to do some bits, and it's going to take you back to all the places I'd already been and finished the quest in, which is a bit of a pain in the backside. So we have a quest hand in.
Well met.
I'm at your service, Laurelin. I'll just add these to the stew. Give me a few minutes. There we are. Could you take this meal to Gisli? You can find him south of here at Nog Lond, the way station in the Vale of Frayne. Just follow the road south. Gisli will be pleased, I'm sure. So he's the dad of one of the guards. He's basically asked him to make him his favourite dish. Where are we going next? We're going west, or we're going to go north? Let's do the west one first, just because I think this is going to take us inside a cave, so we want to be up in the hills up here. But yeah, apart from that, the update 24 launched with the 64-bit client, which is what I'm using right now, where we can see frame rates are a lot higher. In the cave that we started recording in, it was something like 500 plus, which was ridiculous. But obviously we're outside of the landscape now, so it's going to drop down a bit. But you know, here it's hovering around 160. Most places it's comfortably be above 100, which is great. Whereas in some of the places before, it would drop down really low, like sub 40 or thereabouts. Where are we going? We want to be up there, I think. Oh, actually, no, we can go that way. Damn it. I jumped off thinking that was a dead end, but there is a bridge. It's just a bit higher up than I thought it was. So, if you have got a 64-bit computer, and let's be honest, who doesn't these days, then it's definitely worth opting into that on the launcher. If you go into the options on the launcher, you can choose the 64-bit client. I've gone past where I need to be. Is it actually downstairs though? Is it below us? It's that direction. It's at the very top. Is it? Oh, it's there, right in front of me. So it's definitely worth turning it on. You will get a significant boost to your performance. Now, in terms of stability, because it is still in a beta state, so crashes in theory are to be expected. To be honest, I found it to be way more stable than not having it on, to be honest. So things like where you were constantly crashing every time you port in or ride a stable master into or out of Minas Tirith and that kind of stuff, it seems to stop that entirely. It's not without its problems, because there are certainly some things which seem to be a bit more unique to the 64-bit client. So one common place to currently end up crashing in the 64-bit client is when you're doing the daily instances inside New Region. In particular, I find that in the warg instance, when you're fighting the two boss wargs, one of them's called Dolkorf or something like that, I tend to find that I may have a disconnect around wherever he spawns, and that's always seems to be fairly reliable to reproduce crash, so something's obviously going on there. And sometimes it can be a little bit unstable just generically inside instances, but on the whole I'm certainly getting less crashes than I would be using the existing 32-bit client, so it's definitely worth doing. And you will notice your frame rate, even on the same settings, same graphics quality, all that kind of stuff, same textures, shadows, you name it, you will probably find that you will have a significantly higher frame rate using the same hardware as well, so it is very much worth doing. I mean, you can see I've still got a frame rate counter on down here. It's you know, 220 to 280-ish. LOTRO is one to sort of bounce around frame rates quite ridiculously. Obviously, you could limit your frame rate, and to be honest, when it's that high, I mean, staring at the ball is like, you know, like 400 there. It's not really worth rendering those frames, because your eyes can't see it, and all you're doing is kind of taxing your graphics card and generating more heat and using more electricity and so forth. So it's not really worth it in the grand scheme of things once you start going above 100, really. But yeah, it is what it is. I've left mine completely uncapped just because I want to see what sort of stuff we can achieve in the 64-bit client, and the numbers have always been pretty nice and satisfactory. Right, so we've got everything we need here. We can't actually jump down there, sadly, which would make our life a lot easier. But we need to find our way back outside and start handing in a load of these quests. But yeah, what else can we talk about? So I haven't actually got around to trying, I know it's been out a while, the raid, the Anvil of Winterstiff, but it seems people have been having a bit of fun with that, especially on some of the harder difficulty settings. I've jumped down a hole. Is this the way out? But yeah, I might have to try getting in some of those and trying out the new Burglar, because the Burglar changes are pretty good on the whole. Now, been pretty much a vocal critic of any time they've changed the Burglar. They've kind of not improved it on the whole. Anytime they have done something which has kind of been good for the class, they've kind of done something to remove something of equivalent quality. So you kind of your net gain is back where you started. You know, there's no benefits. You know, what you gained is equal to what you lost. But with the recent changes, I think it's been a net positive change. I do miss the heal on fine footing, but nerfing that to make it the same as the other classes is reasonable in the grand scheme of things.
This is unthinkable.
It would take me a moment to make the mortar. That's a word. Take me a moment to make the mortar. Take me a moment to make the mortar. Take me a moment to make the mortar. It's a tongue twister. You would learn a few tricks when you're done. When you've done this as long as I have. There we are. Now take this mortar to the fissures in the canal walls in the Hall of Merchants inside the western parts of Thorin's Hall. So basically where the water is.
Hear me out, traveller.
Hurry and take the mortar and make the repairs before the fissures expand. It's only a matter of time before the wall is breached. So I think that's the only hand-in that's outside, apart from this guy up here. And that music's getting really loud. Let's just take that down a peg. So annoying. One of the good things and one of the bad things, depending on how you look at it, is that the 64-bit client has a different settings file to your 32-bit client. So the moment you start using 64-bit client, you're going to have basically default settings for everything. And you're going to have to configure everything back how you normally had it. But at the same time, if you wanted to try increasing your settings from what you normally had on the 32-bit client, then you can do that. And you know, you can try running higher settings on the 64-bit client, your lower settings because your 32-bit client lags a lot. See if you can get better performance out of it before you make a permanent switch. So it is kind of good in that respect, but yeah, it's just that first time configuration is a bit of a pain in the backside.
I am at your service.
Ha! This looks like the gear. It goes here, or maybe there. No matter. I will work it out given time. I'm sure of it.
I would be grateful for your assistance.
That first gear has seen better days, but it's not beyond repair. I'll get to work on that while you look for the second gear. According to the old records, the second gear was hidden in a chest in some old ruins to the south of the Vale of Frayne. The ruins are on the west side of the Vale, off the road, and across the Vale from Nog Lond. The records indicate that the chest is on the south side of the ruins. One thing you should be aware of, though, is that the goblins have overrun those ruins. Be careful. So we've got the fissures, which are to the west over here. So we'll probably do that one next. And it should be anywhere near the watery areas, so we'll keep our eyes open. So we haven't actually been over this part since we've been in the region. Now, you don't want to fall in the water, because I think if you do, you're kind of in trouble. Try using the delete key. Yeah. I don't know why... He's telling the Aurochs, make no trouble here and you will find none. I don't think that he's going to understand that, mate. Well, I need to speak to this guy anyway. So, Bruni Stonehelm.
Greetings.
What's this? I know that armour. That's Harley's, unless I miss my guess. I haven't the time to polish his armour again. I'm far too busy. I was supposed to go down to Noglond, the way station to the south, and pick up the guard's damaged armour. No, I have no time to clean Harley's armour today. You'll just have to leave it here, and I will see if I can get to it before next week. Unless you can go down to Nog Lond and retrieve the guard's armour for me. So, well, I didn't even agree to it, but you've already told me to, so okay. So, moving along here. Let's go up here. Best to go around this side. So this is where the reputation faction is, if you want to go trade with a blue garrison. Oh, the fishes are underneath, aren't they? Go west to the Hall of Merchants. Cracks in the canal walls. This is the canal. I get the feeling it's actually downstairs, because there is leaky walls downstairs. Let's go have a look. is downstairs. So it's not actually in the Western Room at all. But you can, as we saw when we did the little tour around Thorin's Hall, you can actually get down this side from the east side, which is like where the crafting room is. That's number 2. There's probably more than 2 down here. Can I use the same one again? Okay. That's fine with me. Oh, that works. So we can talk to him. Bring Gisli the mill. He's in Nog Lond. The Axe of Flozy. Where's that one? Oh, it's in front of Thorin's Hall. We didn't actually do that one. So Gisli's at Nog Lond. A new shine. Go speak to the guards at Nog Lond. Patch in time. Is outside. And the missing second gear is in Goblin Ruins in the Vale of Thrain. Okay, so we're done inside the halls. We can go back outside now then. Hand in those 2 and then get a move on. Let's mount up just because it's quicker. But yeah, again we can see our frame rate. It's hovering around like the sort of 160, 190 mark. So it is significantly better. I mean, to be fair, Thorin's Hall is not a particularly lag-intensive zone. You want to go to somewhere like the any of the latest regions, or Minas Tirith is always a nice one to sort of tax your system with the amount of stuff that's going on there constantly. So one of the NPCs is down here.
Well met, friend.
Ah, there she is. Thank you, Laurelin. But I have sad news. A friend of mine told me the cave's been tapped dry. There's naught but fool's gold in there. But don't you worry, I'll find my claim one of these days. So we can have a generic weapon for whatever your class is. We need to talk to Tinder. He's probably down in the court. And then after that I think we're heading out of Thorin's Gate. Unless someone suddenly pops up a new quest somewhere.
What is the meaning of this?
That's one less task to concern me. Perhaps that will fix the problems with the water supply they've been reporting down at Noglond, the way station in the Vale. So again, we can have some gloves to suit all classes, whether you're light, medium or heavy.
Will you stop and hear my accursed tale?
I've got some complaints from Noglond down in the Vale of Thrain to the south, that the canal hasn't been flowing the way it should. Hopefully that repair you made to the leak has solved that problem as well. Could you go down to Noglond and talk to Gaitir about the problem? He can tell you if the canal is back to normal. Just follow the road south as it curves through the Vale of Thrain, and you will eventually come upon Nog Lond. With the dour hands stirring up trouble, we are no short on work hands. So we can accept that. And now pretty much everything should be vectoring us down either to Nog Lond. I don't know why I'm pointing at the screen because you can't see my fingers. So either down to the Stable Master or to the ruins slightly to the west, where one of the entrances to Sana is. And Sana is the reputation area where you can get a load of dwarf rep, but it's a high level area. It's not really for doing in the level 1 to 15 level range. I think most of the mobs there are 40 plus, so you don't really want to be doing that anytime soon. Dwarf just casually walking around out there. So yeah, we're going to head south, which takes us out into the main Ered Luin map, which should switch over the moment we go through the bridge. There we go, we're entering the Vale of Thrain, which is this northern section. And there's not really any NPCs or anything until we get to Nog Lond, so you don't have to worry about missing anyone. There will be quests to bring us back into here and murder the local wildlife as always. We're going to go off-road and just cut this corner, just because it will save us a little bit of time. As we can see, the road will dip round to the left. Yeah, we'll take a slight shortcut, speed it up for ourselves. Nothing interesting in the loot. But yeah, there's a lot of goblins up in that place to the west, but I think we get some more quests from the guys at Nog Lond to sort of investigate that camp and either kill goblins or kill certain types of goblins or something of that nature anyway, just to give us more to do. So don't go straight up there until you've been to Nog Lond. But yeah, I can't really remember too much about what quest these guys are going to give us. I think it's just going to be the usual stuff of kill a few lynxes, kill a few goblins. There's definitely one to kill birds, so the hen dribbles around here. So that will help pad us for our bird slaying deed. which is always nice. It's not a too bad spot here for killing some birds. So there's a stable master here. Make sure you tag him.
Well,
Make your life a little bit easier. So, talk to Gisley. He's the one who is getting the soup.
Friend.
Well, again, this is the third meal my father has sent me in as many days. When will he realise I'm a grown dwarf and not a child to be coddled and fretted over? Ah, you're not to blame. Thank you for the food. Maybe someday father will realise I'm not the thin-bearded dwarf of 60 he remembers. Yeah, because dwarves live for a lot longer, so 60 for them is not that old. Got various other quests to hand in, so these are the guys whose armour we've got.
Greetings, traveller.
I've been waiting for Bruni to come down. We expected him the other day as usual, but he put us off again. I've got a dent in my armour, a hand and a half long. Poxy goblin would have cut me from shoulder to belly if not for that hunk of metal.
By my father, this is a sad day.
Bruni's got someone else to do his errands for him again, eh? Very well. Here's my other armour. You might want to check with Olafur too. His armour was torn up bad a few days back in a scuffle with some goblins.
It is hopeless.
Has the water flow been restored? I should say not. It's just a trickle really, when it should be a torrent. So we can get an earring, so we can either have Might or Fate. So Fate is better for you as a tactical class, as like a minstrel, lawmaster or such. Might is better if you're going to be a champion, guardian, captain, that kind of stuff. And if you're an agi class, you're screwed. So
Will you stay and speak with me a moment?
So we're not going to accept that one just yet. I think that's all the hand-ins that we had. So I think we'll stop this episode here then, and next episode we'll begin questing in Nog Lond. So until then, I will see you guys next time.